What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. Captain Marvel is now in theaters and she's poised to be a very powerful hero for the MCU. But just how powerful is she and what powers does Captain Marvel possess? As we've come to know by now, the Marvel movies tend to change up a few things from the comics that they're inspired from, and Captain Marvel's powers are no exception. Some have even said that Captain Marvel is going to be the most powerful character in the MCU. Well, today, I'm going to explain Captain Marvel's new powers and abilities in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'll explore whether or not she really is the most powerful character in the MCU. Oh, and of course, I'll also discuss how her powers will be a factor in the fight against Thanos in Avengers Endgame. Coming up next. Spoiler alert! If you're watching this, please be advised that I will be discussing key details from the Captain Marvel movie. So if you have not seen the movie yet, or if you don't want key plot points spoiled for you, now is the time for you to go watch my spoiler-free review of Captain Marvel and come back to this video after you've seen the movie. Or if you just don't care about spoilers and you're just interested in these fun facts, then let's get started. First off, military experience. In Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers was an airman in the US Air Force. Seeing as though Carol was a pilot, she's quite familiar with flying various types of aircrafts. As we discover in the movie, she was also a member of the Kree Star Force military group. So it's safe to assume that she's undergone basic training, fighting regimens, and has acquired some tactical knowledge. Advanced tech knowledge. Being a member of the Kree Star Force and by living on the Kree homeworld for 6 years, Danvers has become very familiar with advanced technology of this alien race. We don't exactly know how she acquired her knowledge. She could have had her memories implanted by the Supreme Intelligence, or maybe she just picked it up along the way. Either way, when we see her in Captain Marvel, she's able to do things like take a simple Game Boy video game and jerry-rig it to a payphone and her own uniform in order to phone home. We also learn that she was responsible for upgrading Nick Fury's two-way pager back in the early 90s to the point where even the present-day Avengers couldn't crack the tech just yet. Technologically advanced uniform. Captain Marvel's Star Force uniform has the ability to adapt to her surroundings. When underwater or even in space, a protective mask and helmet will appear. Her suit also has the ability to scan and analyze things with what we can assume is like an advanced computer built in. That also allows her to have advanced communication devices that can transmit into outer space, and there's even a universal language module built in that allows her to speak or understand almost any language, including alien ones. Oh, and of course we can't forget the cool mod that allows her to change the colors of her suit too. New source of power. In the comics, there was a Kree super agent called Mar-Vell, who basically was the original Captain Marvel of the time. During an encounter with Mar-Vell's enemy Yon-Rogg, Carol Danvers gets caught up in a freak explosion involving a Kree device called the Psyche Magnetron. This device had the ability to turn thoughts into reality. In other words, it was basically a wishing machine. Now, because Carol Danvers really looked up to Mar-Vell, and they did have a little romance going on the side, Carol's inner wish to be like Mar-Vell ended up coming true as she ended up obtaining his powers after the explosion. Now, when we go to the MCU, the source of powers is a little bit simpler. Mar-Vell, played by Annette Bening, was a Kree scientist that was working on the Tesseract, aka the Space Stone. Mar-Vell harnessed the energy from the Tesseract in order to create an engine for a spaceship that could travel at light speed. After being pursued and shot down by Yon-Rogg, Carol shoots the Tesseract-infused engine and causes an explosion in which she absorbs some of the energy from the Tesseract. What's interesting here is that this blast in energy would have killed any normal human being. However, as we learn in the movie, Yon-Rogg infused his own Kree blood into Carol, which saved her life. Kree blood. Recall back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it is revealed that Kree blood has amazing effects on the human body. Plus, the Kree have advanced technology that are able to bring humans back from the dead. Thanks to that blood transfusion from Yon-Rogg, Carol now has many of the benefits of the Kree blood. One of those benefits is an advanced healing factor. I'm not saying she's Wolverine, but she does recover from injuries much faster than a regular human. Another benefit from the Kree blood transfusion is that she'll be able to age at a much slower rate. This is more than likely the reason why Carol looks exactly the same, despite the fact that multiple decades have passed by the time she returns to Earth in Avengers Endgame. Energy manipulation. One of the most prominent abilities Captain Marvel possesses is the ability to manipulate energy. We see this in her ability to manifest and project photon blasts, which essentially are like freaking laser beams. Captain Marvel was able to control these photon blasts to the point where she could just heat up a tea kettle, knock down an opponent, or shoot an alien warship out of the sky. Not only can she shoot out these photon blasts, but due to her energy manipulation, she also has the ability to fly. Super durable. With her Tesseract-infused powers and Kree blood, Captain Marvel is incredibly durable. So much so that she can handle falling from major heights and get up with not even a scratch. As a matter of fact, she was able to take on 20 trained Skrull warriors by herself and leave the encounter relatively unharmed. She's even tough enough to literally fly through spaceships with enough speed and force to destroy them. In other words, she's so durable that her own body can be a weapon in itself. One other thing, she's so resilient that she no longer even needs her suit to breathe in space. Super strength. If shooting out photon blasts and being super durable wasn't enough, Captain Marvel also possesses superhuman strength. If you've seen Captain Marvel, then you probably saw how easily a Skrull can overpower an average human being. Well, we also know that Captain Marvel can easily go toe-to-toe with any Skrull and win. Some of her strength was further demonstrated when she was able to stop an alien warhead in mid-flight that was rocketing at top speed towards Earth. To top that, she practically punches multiple alien spaceships and makes Swiss cheese out of them. I think that about covers all the abilities and powers Captain Marvel possesses in the MCU. However, there is some reason to believe that this is just the beginning in terms of what her powers can become. In the comics, she has a number of other abilities that haven't even been demonstrated yet in the MCU, such as cosmic awareness, where she's able to see different realities in a different way, or the extremely powerful binary mode. In the comics, when Captain Marvel goes binary, she has the powers of a white hole, which allow her to utilize all types of energy on the electromagnetic spectrum. In binary mode, she can move at the speed of light and even control gravity to a limited degree. Only downside to this power was that she could burn herself out due to the massive amount of energy consumed while she was in that mode. Now, it is possible that this power-up scene for Captain Marvel was actually her binary level. It would essentially make her powers a bit more grounded compared to the comics, but I have a feeling Marvel Studios is just saving her binary mode for either Avengers Endgame or for a future sequel. Anyway, the point is that the Captain Marvel movie only shows us the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Captain Marvel's powers. Keep in mind that by the end of the movie, she's only still learning about her powers. If we fast forward to Avengers Endgame, that's 25 plus years for her to figure out or develop her powers to an even greater extent. So with all that said, where does Captain Marvel rank among the other powerful heroes in the MCU? Well, if we give her the eye test, it would appear that in the strength category, she may be on par with Vision, Thor, and even Hulk. Although I do think that many of us can agree that to this day, Marvel has yet to really give Hulk his due in terms of his actual full strength. Anyway, I think another big clue as to just how powerful Captain Marvel may be is to notice the subtle fact that she was able to hold the Tesseract barehanded. We know from the Collector in Guardians of the Galaxy that only extremely powerful beings can hold the Infinity Stones without suffering some sort of damage. The only other beings we've seen to hold the Tesseract with no issues is the Asgardian god Loki and the big bad Thanos himself. So does this mean that Captain Marvel can defeat Thanos by herself in Avengers Endgame? Maybe. On one hand, due to the fact that Captain Marvel's powers derive from the Space Stone, it is possible that she can challenge the power of the Infinity Stones. This would fall in line with Vision's hypothesis that in order to destroy the Infinity Stones, a similar energy source would have to be used. We've seen this hypothesis actually be proven when Scarlet Witch, who also derived her powers from an Infinity Stone, was able to destroy the Mind Stone. On the other hand, despite Captain Marvel's incredible power, it's highly unlikely that Marvel would just have her be a one-woman wrecking ball in Avengers Endgame. Marvel knows that by having any one character come into the movie and clean house to that degree would really cheapen the entire film. Recall what Marvel did in Age of Ultron when they introduced Vision for the first time. Despite Vision's incredible powers and abilities, he merely aided the team of Avengers in defeating Ultron. In a similar way, I do believe that Captain Marvel will probably be a valuable asset to the team of Avengers. Not to mention, there's a high probability that Captain Marvel isn't even in Avengers Endgame for the majority of the movie, seeing as though Endgame is really going to be a movie about the closing chapter for the original Avengers. Alright, well that's all I've got for Captain Marvel's new powers in the MCU. If you've seen Captain Marvel, what do you think about her powers? Where do you think her powers ranks her among the other heroes in the MCU? Feel free to vote for your answer by clicking the I in the upper right hand corner or just sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and if you think this will be helpful for someone else, please feel free to share it with your friends. If you're new to my channel and enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing to see more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.